Welcome back, guys. Good to be on again. It's been quite a few weeks. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the Queen's intention, because obviously when she passed, for about an hour, I could feel this wave of sadness. Now, I'm not a royalist in any way, shape, or form, and in my personal beliefs around the royal family are completely irrelevant here. Not that I feel any majorly bad, but the point is this the energy of this sadness in the human collective. And I was talking to Larissa, my partner. She made a very, very good point, and it sort of brought me to sort of do this channeling. I wasn't even going to do anything about it. And it's, obviously we saw so many people on the TV, with sadness and crying, and some were just sort of frozen. And we must remember that, whatever a story triggers in us, regardless of what it is, something on the news, talking to a friend, the Queen passing, it doesn't matter. Obviously that's our own grief, our own sadness, and it's just been mirrored back to us. And we've been talking for the last few years about collective grief now coming to the surface, that has been buried for a millennia. Well, since pretty much we fell out of our light bodies and lost ourselves in illusion, or physicality. And this energy is erupting unconsciously. And you're even seeing it, like, I'm talking to certain different people, and there seems to be an issue with this sort of, not so much long COVID, but people that are not recovering from the lockdown. And there are many more sort of ailments are manifesting. And this is what we've been talking about the last few years, what Spirit have been talking about. We cannot be in denial of what is suppressed any longer. Otherwise, we're going to be on more medications, we're going to have more aches and pains, more things are going to start manifesting. And you're seeing it, everywhere. And it's because it cannot be denied anymore. It's like a volcano. You can't put a lid on a volcano. It's going to erupt regardless of what you try and do. And this is the same as the emotional body. And that volcano is also a mirror of our human collective suppression as well. And the earth is releasing a lot of her emotional energy through, there's a couple of comets moving around. Some in the outer rim at the moment, but they're working on the shadow energy of different planets. And this one that came through the other day was called Agatha, part of this Candonian race that sort of basically channel pure feminine divine force energy. And what they're doing is they're bringing their consciousness closer to the planet now because of this time that we're marked on. And we're getting a lot, these two comets, there's the male and female comet. Hermosinus is the name of the male one, and this is the one that's on the outer rim at the moment. And there's a lot of planets that are stuck there that are in denial of their own consciousness, and the beings that live within them are in the same way. And there is a sort of energy that's opening there, like a rebirth, or dawning of a rebirth is now happening. And what's happening is the consciousness of these two comets, and they're multidimensional. And the feminine Agatha, she works on the aura of planets. So when a planet is starting to evolve itself and move into the new age of consciousness or awakening, it can struggle to come back out of illusion, to reintegrate into reality. And so this comet particularly works on that. Although she expresses a lot of fire energy, but if you psychically look within, you can see the gold ray, and there's a pure feminine being inside this comet, on a non-physical, obviously. And depending on the race or your belief systems, that feminine figurehead will appear according to your consciousness. And Hermosinus is the masculine side of the comet, or they're twins basically. And he'll work on mirroring back the shadow energy so it can be brought into alignment. So anyone that's sort of struggling to come out of the shadow, that's where his consciousness will work. But I mean, I couldn't even tell you where that is, this outer rim that was just channeled that way. But Agatha is then moving through Uranus and Mars, and she'll be coming more collectively over the next 2 or 3 years. So that's going to have a huge effect on our emotional energy, and I'll be releasing some stuff to tune into these two later as well. So what I was trying to say is that, you know, this frequencies that we're working with at the moment, um, it's erupting from within. And the only way to get cognizant with that is to go within. And there's a lot of people say, I go within, but I don't really go within because it's a head exercise, and it cannot be a head exercise anymore, because that's why we're in so many problems. That's why the planet's in such a mess, because we're a left brain society and the ego is run supreme. We cannot try and find that energy through the mind anymore. The mind has to take a back seat. The mind's gift is imagination, as we know, and we project through the imagination, which is the gift into the unconscious. So what we're saying is that, you know, without establishing your own frequency, and that needs to be established in your Earth Star chakra and your base chakra first, because those two are out of alignment. Now, a lot of Earth's history of trauma is now releasing as well. So we carry all the memory in our subcellular level, in our coding, in our DNA, of all of Earth's trauma. And even Earth now is having difficulty releasing this consciousness, because it's a father energy that's coming through the sun. Now, there's been a lot of war in the name of the sun and the father for many, many millions of years on this planet. And the Earth is not fully trusting of that process at the moment, because don't forget, planets are, they're conscious beings. They have their own life path, their own lessons, their own challenges. And of course, there is a lot of that energy that's being disrupted, but that's going to start processing through, you know, through the oceans first. And this is also why people are becoming more conscious of the Earth now, because this is why we've fallen short, is because we've only been focusing on our own progression, and we haven't been focusing on the planet's progression. And that's why a lot of these millennials now coming in are very earth-based. You know, they're very much into nature and cleaning things up, and their consciousness is very different. And the Viridians have said very, very clearly that you have to be in alignment with your planet and talk to your planet almost on a day-to-day basis, because it's the planet that nourishes. And we know this, you know, in a sort of astrology terms anyway, but it's the planet that nourishes your development. And that's something that we've lost. Now, if you talk to indigenous people, though, you know, that's like talking, you know, like over dinner, they talk about that easily. You know, they understand that consciousness. But that's what's happening now. The seeding of the old earth energies are now coming back into the consciousness. And obviously it's been amalgamated into a more modern approach. And this is why these millennials are now coming on without these, without all the, you know, the conditioning that we're trying to release, you know, our generations. So there's a lot of beings coming. There's a lot of different frequencies coming. That's just a little bit about the two comments. I will be talking a little bit more about them because they're very, very interesting, these beings that are coming through now, and what they're sort of starting to share, and they're giving us techniques to tune in and assist us with our own aspects of our own denied self. So like I said, you know, the base chakra, if you're doing work on yourself, work in your base chakra and your Earth Star chakra first, because they're the ones that are bringing out this mass fear and panic. It's all the despair and panic is in there. And of course, all the grief is stuck in the heart and throat chakras as well. But that's coming because that's obviously where we are remembering how we came out, because we're moving back into it, you see. So the memory of when we fell out of it has to become conscious again. People don't understand this, but that's what's happening under collective consciousness underneath everything. So I'm just going to read off this message about the Queen now. So it's quite interesting and it made a lot of sense. So it doesn't matter what your belief systems are around the royals. There are many debates about it, why they're here, you know, do we still need them, all the rest of it. You know, we want to keep at that level, that human level. We want to understand the gift in what Elizabeth has just passed on, and obviously what she was grounding, even if she was aware of it or not. Because obviously, you know, we do a lot of things, we're not, you know, we do things and we're not aware that it's actually, you know, more in our soul contract than what we believe we've been told to do or taught to do. And that's why, you know, waking up and having that true sense of purpose is really important now. And listening, you know, obviously, what do I need, not what society tells me, or the structure of our belief systems. So there's a lot of that going on at the moment, and I think it's going to be quite tumultuous for a lot of people over the next couple of years. But hey, you know, that's how we get change, isn't it? Through chaos. So, all right. So the Queen's death for humanity. So what you are witnessing is a grand emergence of human collective grief and fear. Many are suffering with a deep sense of sadness and unable to understand why in some cases. And this is what we were talking about. If you watch the news, and most everyone was watching the funeral, and you could see, you know, the people, a lot of people just stunned, just crying. And it's not because they knew the Queen, or really, the truth is it's their own grief and panic and fear and sadness and all the rest of it. So the gift within the passing of Elizabeth is also the healing of the individual's own fear and grief. And this is a mirror to let go of the establishment. That you are okay now as a race to trust in your own creative consciousness. The illusion of God will save me, the monarch will protect me, is something that is in need of release. She has mirrored an end of an era. This, in part, is the agenda for the human race. Your souls desire the deepest communication with you as individuals. The Queen has paved the way to lay the foundation of the feminine expression, now rebirthing herself on the planet. The Queen has mirrored the sovereignty and majesty of the divine feminine. She has mirrored the raw, tough, but also the humble, gentle expression of the feminine. The highest spiritual gift for all who walk in body is to trust in the mother that is now your own soul, who is feminine in expression. The Queen was the mirror of trusting your own unique foundation, your own life path, and her departure is the mirror for all to look within. In truth, she has never commented on global affairs or anything in general, because her truth from her own soul was to mirror non-judgment. To show humanity the feminine expression is of unconditional love. And humanity must remember this gift if they are to advance themselves emotionally. It's the holding of space with no judgment that allows the truth to be felt in any given situation. And it's the bickering and fighting amongst individuals and countries that her energy disrupted the most. She brought a sense of calm and unity to hostile situations. And this is the pure expression of the divine feminine energy, now wishing to weave itself through human collective consciousness. She mirrors the time of the new earth, giving you all the gift of looking inwards. For the mother head has departed, and so her children shall walk alone, but united. There is no longer a need for the human race to have a figurehead to guide and protect them. That is her true gift on her departure, saying you are ready to govern yourselves, and all the power is within your own hearts. So, yeah, a great message. And I wasn't even thinking about that until Arissa said, do a channel on that. And I'm so glad that came through, because there has to be something, the amount of people that it drew, the energy that was created. Even people said there was rainbows appeared over the coffin, all kinds of stuff. Because at the end of the day, as it said, the feminine expression is being rebirthed. So someone like that is a guide for that energy, and she's done her job well. And there'll be a lot more to that, of course. Well, it was just quite a short channeling, but I think that was enough, just to sort of get the consciousness out there of what was actually happening, what she's doing, and also where we're going. So yeah, so it's good. So I'll be sharing some more videos. I'm just in the process of putting all my alignment modality together. Module 1's going to be released again now in January. Really excited about that. Lots of new stuff. Shifted it. It's a very good model now. I'm really happy with it. And also there's a few other things that'll be coming out. Got some decks of cards coming out as well. I'm almost to publish. I'm just doing my final edit now, so I've got a publisher hopefully in America, so that's good. So we'll see how that goes. So the book should be coming out early next year as well. So yeah, things are moving on. So a little bit of obviously I'll doing the videos when I can and when they feel right at the moment, but I'm very immersed in getting all this work put together and getting it out there. And then I'll be back more into sort of fluent nature of doing these videos, because we still need to do some more around not so much planets now, but consciousnesses that are moving onto the planet. Obviously these 2 comets that have come through, and there are other beings, and there's a lot of energy coming through the sun now, because obviously we know the sun's a portal and there's many hidden dimensions in there, and those beings are starting to come through now as well. But there's a consciousness that's not going to be able to hit humanity for about 2 or 3 more years, and it holds a sort of frequency, like it's an apex frequency. So when enough of the duality is come into alignment, which is our oscillating energies, this consciousness will be able to connect with us, and it's going to rebirth a new way of thinking and feeling and living. And things are going to speed up in your own consciousness, and that will just manifest itself out into the physical, I'm sure, in a way. And again, this is all uncharted territory, we're still pioneering a lot of this. So Spirit are definitely here on, supporting, and a lot of obviously non-terrestrial physical entities also moving around as well. So we'll be talking with a lot more of them as well in the next year or so. Good stuff, guys. Well, thank you for listening. I will be back I'll be back maybe next week after, sometime soon, and I will see you all then. Thank you.